helpful in animation. So Michael and Maria, thank you very much again for helping out. The project started, I think it was late October. I don't remember, Rola, late
Yeah.
October. And it was delivered for the school last week, but we delivered the good version today. Because there were a lot of technical issues. It was a very challenging project because it was done entirely remotely and without the support of the integration with the escape network, because we couldn't dynamically sync files. So it was run using Google File Stream, which revealed itself as a devilish tool because of data corruption and frequent unrecoverable crashes of the platform. But eventually, we managed to find a way around the issue. And also, we had our own render farm that was composed by the machines of the students here, which worked on the movie. The render farm was managed from a server that was one of Rola's computers, and it was running through our own dedicated VPN. And it was feeding directly from the Google file stream. So we had to set up quite some integration there to make it work. And Francesco knows, because me and Francesco looked after the render farm with Paolo as well, there were a number of issues, and we still don't know very much that beast that is that software. But it was very interesting to be able to render on a render farm on our own without having to resort to outside tools. However, we did use Fox Render Farm as a way to render some shots when we were late, because we had some free credits, and we used a few of the escapes machines to render some scattered frames. I will let the students talk now because it's their project after all. So please start. It's all yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rola, one of the directors and producers on this project. And I just want to thank you all for coming today to watch our film. It means a lot to us, and I really hope you like it. So the name of our film is Alma, and it is set in an alternative reality in a not so distant future. And I want you all to please click the link I've sent in the chat. And once you, first let me share screen, sorry. Okay, can everyone see my screen okay? Cool. So if you click the link, it should bring you to Sync Sketch, where you might get this message. And if you could please press on Join Live Meeting. And I'm going to do a small test in a minute now, just waiting a little bit. So I'm gonna press play. This is not our film, this is The Weekend. And if you do not hear any music, please just write it in the chat or let us know. All good? I can see you bobbing your head. All good? Yeah? Cool. So I'm gonna start our film now, and I hope you like it. Please mute yourself on Google Meet. Just, yeah. Sorry? Amadeo, you're muted.
Mute yourself, Rola.
Oh yeah, I was clicking, it was frozen.
I think there was an echo. Was I the only one hearing that?
No, that was the echo from Rola.
Okay. Woo.
Is this the world premiere that we're watching here?
Yes.
Basically.
Literally, Alex, the world's premiere.
I'm very proud to have seen it here first.
Excellent.
Nice work. Really cool.
Thank you very much.
That really means a lot to us, so thank you for that. We have a little presentation for you guys, just to give you a little bit of detail about our project. If I could... Can you guys see my screen okay? Yep. Cool. All right. So, Alma, our initial idea was to integrate a CGI character with real-life footage. However, to do that, we would require a hyper-realistic rig. And considering our level of experience in modeling and rigging, we decided that creating a robot was the best choice, as we could match our character to our live action and footage. And then we wouldn't have to worry about complications with the character's intricate details, like their hair, their pores, their face, their skin, and all that. And our story was that in a routine life, Hero's soul begins to drain until he falls over and sees life in a new way. And thus we named it Alma, which means soul in Spanish. So these are some of the references that we used in our film. And from those references, Chappie and Hot Fuzz were our main ones. Chappie's design was used to envision our character, while Hot Fuzz's creative editing style was our inspiration. We used other film references like iRobot for the general story idea of having one robot that's different from the rest of the community around him. We also used Lloyd's building as a main reference for Smart Corp, the company in the film, the one that controls the robots and all. And, oh, sorry. Anyway, here's some robot references. And for this film, we used motion capture in order to match our character's action to the realistic environment. And I'm going to pass it on to the actor who used the mocap suit, Jake Lee, please.
Lovely, thank you. As Rolla said, we were so lucky to use motion capture for this film. And I acted as the motion capture actor on the day. And we had Clement Garini, who was kind enough to supply us with the mocap kit. We had the motion capture on set with a screen, which was extremely helpful, as we could see the results in live time, which was such a good benefit. Amadeo Bretta was on set as the director of the mocap. And when I first started acting, we found that I was exaggerating the acting quite a lot. And this is why it was so vital to have the screen, because me and Amadeo could watch it and see that the more subtle I acted it, the more appealing the character looked. And the mocap can pick up some really nice subtle movements. And we found that the more subtle we worked it, and you'll see a video now, the more subtle I was with it, the more we actually got out of it and could see it on the screen. The motion capture was so beneficial for both the production side and the animation department. For the production, it allowed us to have a base animation that was based on a realistic performance in real life. We also filmed the action live on the day as a guide for the animators. We then took this mocap data and learnt how to retarget the motion capture. And this gave us an incredible experience because this is used so vividly throughout the industry now. We're seeing it a lot in game animation, the use of mocap. So it's an incredible new skill to be learning for this project. We then learned how to use animation layers to adapt the mocap so that it was the exact performance that we wanted for the character. This way we could push some of the poses that we wanted and highlight certain emotions. As the character didn't have facial expressions, it was so vital and so important that we nailed the body language, and we got that so perfect because we're telling the whole story just with the body language. So it was so vital to use motion capture, and it taught us so much throughout this project. I am now handing over to Francesco Cadari, who served as our supervising technical director, to talk about the work by the 3D artists.
Thank you very much, Jay. So the first thing we needed to do in this project was to choose the right softwares to use. And first of all, you can see in the slide, there's Google File Stream, which we use to be able to share and upload files remotely. Share and upload files. This way we managed to work remotely. As Amadeo said, at the end, Google File Stream turned out to be like the devil because he was corrupting files, deleting stuff, and so on and so forth. So talking about 3D, the one program I want to mention is Blender, which I personally use to create the first iteration of the robot. I use Blender because it was really easy to create loads and loads of iterations really quickly. So it has really sleek modeling tools that you can utilize in order to model really quickly. Then we used Maya because it's the industry standard, and Maya we used to go high-res with the robot, so to create the high resolution meshes, and then to rig it, and so on and so forth. We choose then Substance Painter to texture the robot over Mari, because Substance Painter is the program we have been taught of, and is the one where we have more knowledge of, basically, and the easier to use, actually. Then was the time to choose the rendering engine. We had 3 choices, basically, so Redshift, Arnold, or Unreal Engine. If Arnold is the industry standard, can also be really slow since it's CPU-based. And as Amadeo mentioned before, we used our own computers in order to render the whole project, kind of. Just not just our computers, but yeah, most of it. So we managed to create the render farm by ourselves, again, thanks to Amadeo, with CGRU, which is the render farm we use, basically. And we choose Redshift again over Arnold or Unreal Engine, because Redshift is the one that works with the render engine that works with the GPU, so it's the fastest one. Rola, could you move on to the next slide? Thank you. Talking about the pipeline, we try to emulate a real pipeline that's happening in a studio. So we will have multiple departments divided and focused on different tasks. We also schedule dailies where we could receive our feedback and address it. And we could also everybody could check on the overall state of the whole project. As you can see from the images, everything starts with the character design, where we decide the overall look and feel of the character. Then we move on to 3D modeling. And 3D modeling is one of the departments that has to go back and forth from modeling, rigging, and animation. So all this back and forth, we use to refine and fine-tune and perfect the model in order for the animators to use and to achieve the final look of the actual character. Then we move on to a linear workflow, which has no more back and forth between departments. So while animation keep on animating, texture artists keep on texturing, then we move on to lighting, rendering, and compositing. And eventually, at the end, we deliver the final project, as I think we did. So that's all from me. I will pass the speech to Alexandra, which was the 3D model, texturer, and artist in the project.
Thanks, Bren. So to talk about 3D workflow, in this project, there are 2 main assets, the daisy, which you saw in the film before, and the main character, the bot, which we'll talk about today. To create the bot, we worked in a very collaborative and iterative way, like Fran said. Here you can see asset iterations and stages, starting from left and finishing on the right. The processes, modeling and UV, were divided up between Fran and I by working separately on different limbs. A master template was used as a reference layer in Maya, which we're able to base the scale off. We also had locators pointing out where the joints on the rig were to keep track of how accurate things had to be and keep it easier for Piotr to rig down the line. We worked in an iterative way so that in the beginning we could develop the bot at the same rate as the concept artist and the rigger fleshed things out on their end. It also meant that the animators had something to work with from the get-go, and you'll see one of our earliest iterations used in the mocap shoot. This meant that there was a lot of back and forth between departments, and that really helped us understand how the pipeline works and how, as a 3D artist, you always need to think about the next step and the person after you who's working on it and what's required for them, and to keep that in mind. As you can see through the iterations, there's lots more detail added on, and on the far right-hand side is the textured bot. I textured him in Substance and with predominantly warm plastics and metals materials. I love how he turned out, but as with everything, I would have loved to have added a little bit more details and decals and fun details like that. Cool. Next slide. Does anyone have any questions or answers? Oh, questions, sorry, just questions.
Yes, if anybody is supposed to be on the credits and is not there, tell us, because we worked at night, so we forgotten things. So don't be offended, just tell us. We're going to include you. And thank you very much for the presentation, Lola, Francesco, and Ali, and Lee, and Jake. And I would like to thank Manos for stepping in and helping produce this mess, because since we animated with a model that wasn't even there yet, we had to go back and forth, as Ali said, several times. So Manos helped keep track of things in a moment where Rola, who was initially the main producer, was super busy. And I would like to thank again Maria and Mikhail for the sound and the music, because those bits are what really helps tying everything together. In fact, we could have maybe even tied everything a lot more tighter together, I think. But without the music, this would have been, without the sound as well, this would have been very difficult, I think, as a project to sell, if you think of it. And I would like to help everybody else who helped volunteering on this project. So Paloma for the character design, Jessica for the color script, Alice for the motion graphics, just to mention some, Paolo for a number of things, for animation, for keeping an eye open on any technical issue we had in the past and in the present. And I don't know, am I forgetting anybody? I think I'm forgetting Samantha for helping with animation, for volunteering again, and Jake, Aileen for helping, giving us an idea about rigging at the beginning, Carla and Eduardo for the mock-up support, Clement for the suit, anybody who is in the credit, guys. Sorry if I don't mention everybody, but there are really a lot of people involved. I would really like to thank you for the help, because this was a project of originally 3 people. We wouldn't have been able to make it without the support of everybody whom you can see in the credits. So thank you very much again.
Our pleasure.
Indeed. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, well done.
It was really great. Really great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And I have a question just to start with. And my question is, do you think the biggest problems came from technical problems or human problems? Do you think the main issues you experienced in this production were human related or were technical issues?
From
Go for it.
No, from my point of view, I'm going to say maybe those problems originated from the human, but then turned out to be also technical. Or rather, sorry, if the problem, if a human created the problem, there's always a big technical solution to solve it, kind of. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, most of them originated from the human, but just a couple of them from the technical thing, much like the robot flickering, these redshift artifacts all over the place. Yeah, like you cannot control that kind of thing, but yes, I do, yes, human then.
We stand by Fran. I mean, it is true. Yeah, we've had some delays and we've had some like miscommunication. But I think, yeah, the technical errors are kind of just harder to solve, which is why it's the most thing that we kind of, that it's the most thing that we see when it comes to errors rather than the human ones. Because honestly, Fran, I just want to thank you, because the work you did to fix those technical errors along with Amadeo, I don't know how you guys did it. But yeah, there were a lot of human errors, but without those errors, we might not have caught the technical ones, to be honest. And we learned from them, but yeah, it is true. They go hand in hand, usually. Yeah. Well, they always originate with a person or a situation, or usually a lack of communication is the biggest issue in my experience, or misinterpretation of communication as well. What else? I don't know what to ask. Anybody who has a question, or should we call it a day and go drink beer? Michael Davies has raised a hand. Michael.
Yeah, I'll just quickly ask one, because so just to clarify, have you guys ever worked on a project together physically? Because I was more kind of interested in kind of the comparison between how you found those errors in communication and those things that kind of went wrong, how are those different working remotely compared to working together in class when you can actually just kind of turn to the person to your right or left and ask them a question?
Unfortunately, our previous project was also online. Jake,
Okay.
Sam, and I spent like maybe a month together in class. Same with Ali and Fran. They spent like a month in class, and then we all worked remotely after that.
Yeah, and then we worked on a project called Mafia Mix Up together, and that was our first project together. And then we moved on to this project afterwards.
To answer your question, we don't have a comparison since we didn't work together like physically. But I would say, of course, if you're in person with other people, you can like, I don't know, how can I fix this? Can you help me? Can you do it for me while I watch you do it actually on my computer? But also, didn't change too much for me, at least, because you can always hop on a call face to face with the person and share the screen and show him how to. Again, it's not the same thing, but it's as close as we can get, I think, during pandemics.
It was a very global production. We had people in England, we had people in Italy, we had people all around the world, we had people in Abu Dhabi, so it's a very multicultural production.
Abu Dhabi was actually the central of the production. The best internet connection, the server, most of the machines.
Yeah.
Samantha, you were saying?
Now, if I say as animator, they joined after the group, it was that even if we work all remotely, everybody was so available to a chat, to a call, even late at night, even early in the morning. So we try to be available as possible. And I think we reach a good goal and a good result, even if we work all the time remotely. So we did a good job.
Nice. So, well, if there aren't any more questions, I think congratulations are in order.
Wait, Alex, will you raise a hand?
Just one from me. So it's lovely work, everyone. Really nice. So as you guys know, I do the film festival stuff. So if you bung everything in my direction, I'll need the movie file, the list of credits, who did what, one sheet poster. What else do I need? Bundles of £50 notes. And I'll get it all uploaded to Film Freeway, and then work on IMDb and attaching. I'll with the IMDb page, I'll probably attach just the names of the principals, and then let you guys add your own names and credits, because it always takes a really long time to do that, and I spell everybody's name wrong, and everyone gets upset. So it's much easier if you just do it yourself. And then you'll have then it'll have an IMDb existence, which is a good thing.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes,
and then we'll get it into festivals, and there's lots of sci-fi festivals out there, especially. So I'm sure you guys will do well. Lovely
Thank
work.
you very
Well
much.
done. You're really good.
Much appreciated.
Alex.
I
Good.
would like also to thank Austin Hill, whom I forgot at the beginning, who did the storyboard for this project.
Yes.
Without the storyboard, we have no project. So apologies, Austin, if you're still there. If you left because you were angry, please watch the recording. Okay. And I would like to thank Ilyana also for introducing Austin to me more than 1 year ago now, when we worked together on Street Rats. So it's always useful to have a good storyboard artist around. So thank you, Ilyana. Thank you, Austin. And also thank you, Lorenzo Maniccia, for doing one of the environments, which the big environment with the town was made by Lorenzo offered. And Kieran as well for modeling the tube, for setting up the model of the tube. And probably I'm still forgetting people, but thank you again, everybody as well.
Amadeo, I see that this is being recorded, do you know how to get a copy of the recording? Because we could upload this to the YouTube channel as a kind of making of video. Because this
Sure.
You could obviously make another making of video, but you've kind of done it already. So we could just throw this up at the channel, and It just helps to give people a context and a background to the project.
Rola, if you could send the link to Alex once the
Sure.
recording is up.
Yeah.
Of course,
It
yeah.
should be
Great. Brilliant.
nice.
Good.
Cool.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Again, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
We will send out probably a link, a video file, so that you can use it for your portfolios.
Just one last thing. Mihail, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say I really had fun working with you guys. Out of anything that I've done previously in terms of sound and anything, you guys were the most organized. I really enjoyed the Discord channel and then all the messages, all the updates. I just want to say very good job, very well done. And I obviously look forward to working with you guys in the future as well. So if you have something in mind, give me a shout if you like what I did for you guys. Also, thank you, Austin, for connecting me with you guys, because he was the connection. I went to university together with him. We worked on a couple of projects. But yeah, if you have stuff in the future, just drop me a message. You have my details.
Thank you,
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Maria, for the music.
Just to echo from the sound team, yeah, it was so great to work from seeing that storyboard at the beginning and then just seeing every couple of weeks a new version come in and seeing it come to life and following that direction. So yeah, it was great working with all of you guys, and yeah, look forward to the next one. And well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We didn't burn bridges, guys. Cool,
That's
thank you. So let's call it a wrap.
Yep.
Thank you,
Bye,
Alex.
guys.
Thanks,
you very
Alex.
much.
Good evening,
Bye,
everyone.
bye, bye, bye.
Thank you
Welcome
so
back.
much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.